Das ist das Buch, meine Damen und Herren, gestern erschien im Verlag Schirmer Mosel. Looking at Me, Isabella Rossellini, eine Geschichte in Bildern. Herzlich willkommen, Isabella Rossellini. Please. This is the new book.
This is the new book,
yeah.
Right.
So, it's really a great pleasure to have you on the program because a lot of people in our crew are big fans of you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's good news.
Yes?
Yes,
You're
it
surprised?
is.
No, not really.
No, you know, I find it good news. Surprised? Maybe. I don't know how known I am in Germany.
Ja, Frau Rossellini ist sehr bekannt bei uns in Deutschland, oder? So, ja. I didn't realize this, but you were born in Rome.
Yes, I'm Italian. I was born in Rome. My father is Italian, my mother is Swedish.
Yes.
And then I grew up between Rome and Paris, and now I live in New York. I lived in New York for many years.
And how old have you been when you moved to New York?
18.
So you spent a European youth?
Yes, and it shapes you so
Yes.
much, you know. Still in America, I feel like European, though I've lived in America for over 30 years.
Also, I'm going to translate a little bit for myself and for the audience. They all understand what you say,
Yes.
but some viewers sometimes. And,
Okay.
Frau Rossellini wurde in Rom geboren, wuchs zwischen Rom und Paris auf und fühlt sich europäisch. Ist mit 18 erst nach Amerika gegangen. You have both passports now?
I have both passports, Italian and American.
And if someone would wake up you at 4 o'clock in the morning and ask you, what are you, Italian or American?
Ah, yeah. That is a very hard question.
In which language do you dream?
I think I dream in very many languages. I think it depends on who I'm dreaming. If I'm dreaming of my father, I probably dream I'm talking to him in Italian. But if I'm dreaming of a lover, I probably talk in English.
Really?
All my husbands have been Americans.
Yes, and may I say this? I don't want to be too private, but two of your husbands, have you been married to David Lynch?
No,
but you had a long-time
married.
relationship. Yes. But you've been married to Martin Scorsese. What's the correct pronunciation?
Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese.
And you had a long-time relationship, and these are really heroes. To
Yes,
me.
yeah, to me too.
As movie makers, to you too.
As movie makers and husband.
I can ask you. I really love the movies of Martin Scorsese.
All right.
And whenever I went to a movie with a girlfriend or
Yes.
with my wife, she watches half the movie. No,
yeah.
Is it over? Tell me.
But you know, Harold, one thing about Marty, his films are bloody.
Yes.
His films are violent.
Yes.
I went to the doctor with him one day, and the doctor pricked his finger to take a drop of blood. He fainted. He fainted. I said, see what you're doing to us?
Yes.
Seeing all this blood on the big screen?
Yes.
You want to realize it? He fainted as his own blood. One drop, he faints. But us, bucket of bloods.
Scorsese, ein Weichei. Yeah, he fainted means he lost consciousness. Yeah. So brutale Filme. Do you know the actors like Joe Pesci or
Yes.
De Niro?
Yes, I do.
And are they violent or do they also faint? No.
No, I don't know about them. I never went to a doctor visit with any of them.
And can you stand the movies or when you watch them or?
Me too. Sometimes
Yeah.
I have to close my eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. I sometimes say to Marty, I follow your movie like a radio program. Just listen to them.
Of course, you call him Marty. What I recognize is that many, especially German young filmmakers, if they talk about Marty, they like to move up to a higher class. You know, I say to me, he's Mrs. Scorsese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they talk about Marty. Yeah. But I think in America, everybody calls him
Marty.
Or in the movie industry.
Yeah, sure, in the movie industry. I think we're getting old, so all of a sudden, you know, Marty, who used to be, to my eyes, a young avant-garde filmmaker, has now become the established Hollywood, director.
Absolutely. And we all hope we can see the Gangs of New York sometimes.
Yes, sometimes it's good. Some days.
Here, this is a wonderful photograph.
Yes.
Das ist Isabella Rossellini und Martin Scorsese. It's somewhere in the desert.
It's taken by Wim Wenders.
Yeah, and you know, Wim Wenders has been a guest, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
And he told this story.
I told the story, and I was glad it was the same story. I've checked, because, you know, sometimes memory changes
yes, absolutely.
the story. Wim Wenders picked us up in the middle of the desert. Marty and I were driving. I don't drive. He was driving.
Yeah.
The car broke down, a tire or the engine. Marty didn't absolutely not know what to do with it. We were on this terrible sun, and we didn't know how to save ourselves. We didn't have a portable phone. We didn't have a radio. We were just there, desolate, under the sun. And we see from far away a car coming. So we stopped the car. Wim Wenders in the middle of the desert.
You knew him? You knew him?
Well, I knew him by fame. I recognized him because I saw his picture in the magazines.
Yes.
And I said, "You are Wim Wenders. I can't believe it. You're in the Utah desert." He said, "You're Martin Scorsese." And Wim Wenders fixed the car, got us in, saved us. And he took this picture of me and Marty. See how satisfied I looked.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because finally I knew he was going to drive us to some shadow. And as we drove to Monument Valley, Marty and Wim would stop and would say, "Look at that, look at that." And they would make, you know, how the filmmakers do. And they say, "Look, this is where John Ford did the close-up called John Wayne. Let's see. And what was this?" And they looked and they remembered every close-up of every film John Wayne shot in Monument Valley.
That's great. And
unbelievable.
Were you bored, or was it interesting to you?
Well, I was a little bit amazed. And they explained to me, because I say to them, I mean, why, you know, do you really watch this film to that detail? And they do. And they explained to me that the film of John Ford were creating mythology for America, a new country who didn't have a mythology. And so for them was very important, and also created a mythology of film. But film for America is like Homer for us, the Odyssey, or...
Yes.
So,
I'd like to tell this, my German audience. Film hat für Amerika denselben Stellenwert wie für uns Homer, oder? Ist das so? You can look so different on every photograph, but you stay always yourself.
Yes. Well, that was one of the things that was interesting. The way this book came about is that photographer in my long career as a model, they gave me occasionally a photo of me, and, you know, the first one I hang and look, and the second, and little by little it became a wall that I called the me wall. And one of the things that was surprising was to see how many different ways you can look, which is proof that we perceive reality differently, because each photographer photographed me so differently that if I didn't know it was always me, I would think it was at least 3 or 4 girls.
I like this one here with Madonna.
Madonna, yes.
That was for Madonna's book?
Yes, it was for Madonna's book called Sex.
Is it right that you know a lot of, about sex of little birds and insects? Yes.
Yeah, well, that was in some of me, the other book. I've always liked animal behavior. It's been one of my hobbies, if you want, or passion. But I was very bad at school, otherwise I would have studied.
Well, where did you go to school? I mean, to different countries? Oh.
Yes, in Italy and France, mostly. And then I did some college. I didn't do much of the university. I dropped out pretty early in the United States. So, you know, I stayed within the family business. Both my parents were in films.
Yeah.
But I would have studied animal. Yes, I would have studied animal behavior. And in this book, I give detailed description of the sex life of insects, which is very interesting.
Yes, the present of David Lynch, I think, yeah?
David Lynch, to make fun of me, gave me what he called the bee board. It's a series of bees. He found a lot of bees dead in his garden, and he collected them, and he put them all in very order and baptized them all, and he called them Chuck and John and Jack and Peter, and he gave it to me as a present because I like animals.
Eine kleine Pinnwand mit toten Bienen, die er im Garten gefunden hat. And I'd like to show the audience the photograph of you and your 2 husbands, because... Das wäre auch mal eine schöne Idee. Das hier ist Isabella Rossellini mit Martin Scorsese, ja? Und das hier mit David Lynch. This could be an idea to keep a marriage longer fresh. If the husbands the sweat over the face?
It was my way to put them in the book, but punish them a little bit.
Yeah, but just a little bit. You go to Düsseldorf now?
I'm going to Düsseldorf right now.
To introduce the book to the audience?
Yes, looking at me, and there are some photos, and the exhibit is then going to go to Munich at the Sherman Mosel Gallery, and I'm going to go there and present my book and the photo.
Okay, good luck, and thank you very much for coming. It was a really, really pleasure to meet you and to have you on the program.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
Thank you very much. Isabella Rossellini, meine Damen und Herren. Das war's für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Morgen Abend No Angels. Dankeschön, gute Nacht.